Live from Carolina Bank Field in Florence, South Carolina, 85 degrees outside, spotted clouds on a blue summer sky. For the Wilmington Sharks, 8-5, facing the Florence Flamingos with also an 8-5 record. Hello everybody, I'm Lance Williams on the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network. Select road games can be found right here on this YouTube channel, and all Sharks home games and CPL games can be found on FloSports with a video feed. It's the second time the Sharks have faced a West Division opponent, and the first time they've faced the Flamingos. Both teams find themselves third place in their respective divisions. The Sharks at 8-5, they're tied with Morehead City for 1.5 game behind the 10-4 Peninsula Pilots and 1 game behind the 9-4 Wilson Tops. Flamingos at 8-5 in the West, they're 3.5 games behind the first place 12-2 for City Owls and 1.5 game behind the 10-4 Martinsville Mustangs. All said, both teams trying to race back to the top, and tonight the Sharks, they're adding a familiar face to the lineup. So before this game, I spoke to the manager, Russ Burrows, about that and the importance of this game for the playoff race. Tonight, adding Drew Sturgeon, a guy who last season had a .415 on-base percentage. What does he bring to the lineup?
He just brings a sense of leadership. He was with us last year for our entire season, and he was a staple during the playoffs for us. Unfortunately, he got hurt in the championship round, and you know, he's finished up school. He's looking up for pro opportunities, and he called me up and said, "Hey, I'm looking to get some at-bats before the draft. You got a spot?" And I said, "Yeah, like lefty bat, power, speed, arm, one of the best outfielders in the CPL. I mean, it was a no-brainer to bring him back."
And then tonight against Florence, they're the best base-stealing team in the CPL, about 4 per game. How can you contain them there?
That's going to be the pitchers, quick to the plate. We got Herrera behind the dish, who is going to do a good job at calling pitches and keeping runners close, and if he sees them taking off, he's going to shoot them down. So anything under 2 bases for them will be a success for us.
And then you've lost the last 2, 1.5 games behind first place. How much would a win tonight mean?
I mean, a win's always nice to have. I don't think anybody comes out here looking to lose every game, so it's always nice to pick up a win, but what we're looking for is consistency from the pitching staff and the hitters. We have yet to have a complete game to where everybody's clicking on all cylinders. So hopefully we're looking to change that today, where the hitters actually, you know, can get some hits, more than 5 or 6 a game, and drive in some runs. That's been our big thing, is we've got to quit keeping the guys on bases, and we've got to be able to drive them in when needed. So I think that's where we're at.
All right, thanks, Russ.
Thank you.
So that was the manager, Russ Burrows, ahead of tonight's matchup. A big-time matchup as the Sharks, coming off of 2 road losses, trying to get back in the win column, hopefully moving to 9-5 and dropping the Flamingos to 8-6. But that's the goal. And so the new guy, that's Drew Sturgeon, a familiar face to Sharks fans. Last season, 22 games. He was there for most of the season. Now his batting average was just 190. And while that's nothing to brag about, it's really his on-base percentage, which just blares out of the screen at .415. He's just an on-base machine. Really good at drawing walks, an excellent eye at the plate, and also just a tremendous fielder and base stealer, something that the Sharks would love to add here tonight. So he's also coming off a career year at Central Arkansas, upped his batting average up to a career high .311. Now let's take a look at the pitchers for today's game. The starter for the Flamingos, that's the righty Branton Little, the 6'4" from Wofford, where this past year he had a 4.23 ERA, a 2-0 record, and 17 appearances, none of which were starts. It's his second year of summer ball, first one in the CPL. Now the starter for today's game for the Wilmington Sharks, that's the righty Spencer Cipro from Belmont Abbey, the junior, making his 4th appearance in 4th start, the first time on the road this season in the CPL, a 1-0 record, 4.76 ERA. His last start came on June 7th at home against the Asheboro Zookeepers, where he started with 2 1/3, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Sharks went on to win that game against Asheboro. In fact, that was their only previous game against a West opponent. Cipro, he offers a fastball, slider, changeup, and cutter. Started his college career at Assumption University for 2 years and spent this past spring with Belmont Abbey, the Crusaders. He has a couple Crusader teammates in the lineup, in Justin Herrera and Connor Powell, which we'll talk about later. In fact, actually, we will talk about that now. Let's take a look at the lineups for today's game. We'll start with the visiting Wilmington Sharks. Leading off for them is Connor Powell, the left-handed left fielder. Next, Caleb Johnson at second base. Hitting third, Luke Jenkins, the first baseman. Trace Wilhoit with cleanup duties at the hot corner. Drew Sturgeon making his 2024 debut out in center field. He's hitting fifth. In the sixth spot, Lucas Johnson, the DH. Justin Herrera behind the dish hitting seventh. In the 8-hole, Jack Rothenhausler in right field. And rounding out the order for the Wilmington Sharks, Cam Hassert, the left-handed hitting shortstop, who's committed to Loyola Marymount. Now, let's take a look at the lineup for the home team, the Florence Flamingos. Leading off for them is Jake Whitlinger, the DH, hitting second. Chris Cole in center field. Luke Bard, the catcher, hitting third. Braden Korn, cleanup. He's out with a black trim on the front. Flamingos, written in lighter pink with a white trim. They've got white pants, fluorescent pink ball caps with their logo on it. And they'll be facing the Wilmington Sharks, who've got light blue jerseys on the sleeve, white and blue stripes, blue numbering, Wilmington Sharks logo on the left breast, gray pants, and they've got navy ball caps. Now we'll take a pause here for the national anthem. Coming up next, we'll set the field in first pitch.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan today for the tools and tips you need to protect that legacy. That's ready.gov/plan. A message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network. The Sharks traveled here to Florence to face the Flamingos. Both teams 8-5 to start off this 2024 campaign. Now let's set the defense for the Florence Flamingos. With the outfield, it's Caleb Oakley in left, center field, Chris Cole, right field, that's Braden Korn. The infield, Diego Ureta at third, shortstop Ty Barango, Tyler Young at second, first base Owen Hull, the catcher Luke Bard, and his battery mate, that's Branton Little on the mound. Leading off for the Sharks, it's Connor Powell, Caleb Johnson, and Luke Jenkins. The managers for today's game, Russ Burrows for the Wilmington Sharks in his fourth season of leading the Sharks. The manager for the Flamingos, Lex Tootin, was the hitting coach for the Flamingos in 2022. Here he is today as their skipper. And it's funny, Flamingos wearing bright pink, Sharks wearing some light blue. 7 games, 5 starts, 25 innings pitched. He allowed 23 earned runs. His whip, 1.720. This is Carolina Bank Field. Opened in 2022. And that was when the Florence Flamingos, or the Florence Red Wolves, changed to the Florence Flamingos. So a little bit of a rebrand. And now up to hit for the Sharks, Connor Powell, as the manager, Russ Burrows, gets situated over at third. And the assistant coach, Reese Sabo, in his first year, he jogs over to first. Powell, now he steps in the left-handed box to face the righty, Little. Here on this broadcast, I'm situated about parallel of the third base bag, right next to the Sharks dugout. First pitch, this one smacked high out to right field. Backing after is Korn. One pitch, one away in the first. So Powell flies out to right. And here's Caleb Johnson, the second baseman, up to the dish. Johnson from Jacksonville State University in Phoenix City, Alabama. Went to Central Phoenix City High School, a football powerhouse. Perennially, this first pitch down low for ball one. They're almost always in the state championship game, and Johnson also played football during his high school days. So he played with some really high-level talent there as he takes a big hack. Count now 1-1. There he was a wide receiver. He's also used a lot on special teams as a punt returner and kick returner. One away in the top of the first. It's the pitch to Johnson. Inside ball two. Good eye there by Johnson. This pitch flipped foul on the third base line. So the count 2-2 now to the switch hitting Johnson. He's hitting left. So home plate covered in shade. It's the 2-2 now. Upstairs, ball three. So home plate covered in shade as about the rest of the field illuminated in sunlight. Little nods his head. Fires the 3-2. Inside ball four. So the first base runner of the game is Caleb Johnson. And a dangerous base runner at that. He leads the team in stolen bases. He's 9 for 10 in swipe attempts after going 14 for 17 this past spring with the Gamecocks. As up to hit now is Luke Jenkins. The Sharks, first three hitters all in that left-handed box. Jenkins, the first baseman from UNC Greensboro. Here's the pitch. Jenkins darts away for ball one. And Johnson, once again, he was 14 for 17 this past spring. But he said he was really 17 for 17. So Jacksonville State, they have turf on the infield. So two of those caught stealings, he just slid past the base. So he was already there, but he just got past it as now the 1-0. That finds the zone for a called strike. So those were two of his caught stealings. He said, yeah, I just got to figure out how to master that turf. Then the third caught stealing, he rewatched the tape, and he said the umpire was wrong, and he was actually safe. It's the 1-1, softly bounced on the right side foul. So Luke Jenkins quickly down the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away in the top of the first between the Flamingos and the Sharks. Both teams coming off of losses. Sharks lost on Sunday. It's the 1-2, upstairs, ball 2. Sharks lost on Sunday to the Peninsula Pilots, and then on Saturday to the Greenville Yard Gnomes. Little turns around and looks at Johnson, who stands up, nods his head twice as Johnson dancing over at first. The 2-2 pitch way outside, ball 3. So, I'm back here on YouTube, and it's a long story as the 0-1 pitch down low to Chris Cole in the top of the 4th inning. So, what happened was, I'm Lance Williams, the broadcaster for the Wilmington Sharks here on the road in Florence. The Sharks lead 3-0 in the top of the 4th. There's the 1-1 pitch. This one, strike 2. And so, I'm set up here on the third baseline right next to the Sharks dugout. And I'm doing my thing, broadcasting here on YouTube. Flamingos people, they come up as the 1-2 pitch. This one smacked out to left field. Will this drop? Yes, it will. That's a base knock for the center fielder who's running second now. The throw, is it there in time? Johnson, his tag? No. And so, I'm doing my broadcast here on YouTube Live, a strictly audio broadcast. And so, I end this broadcast because the Flamingos people ask me if I can do it. So I'm broadcasting for them on FloSports, and then FloSports, they just put an end to my broadcast because there's no audio, because road broadcasts, you're not allowed to have audio due to FloSports. And so, I apologize for any difficulties for the listener. I was just trying to help out the people at Florence. Next pitch here, darts outside, ball 1. That's Luke Bard, the catcher. Really big catcher, too, just towering above everyone. Sharks lead 3-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Cipro looks over at the runner at second, and Cole fires this pitch beneath the knees of the big center fielder. Herrera goes to the mound to exchange some words with his college teammate, Spencer Cipro. Now he returns back behind the dish, squats. So there's a runner at second and Cole. The one away in the bottom of the 4th. Sharks lead 3-0. The 2-0 pitch. This one hammered right to the third baseman, Will Hoyt. Eyes over at the runner at second. Now he fires to first for the second out. That hit is Braden Korn, the right fielder. He has the other of the Flamingos hits. That one came in the second. So, Spencer Cipro back on the mound. 2 away to Braden Korn, the right fielder with cleanup duties. This pitch, pulled back bunt. No, it's fouled. So the catcher, Justin Herrera, about last December, I believe, he made the switch from catching off one knee. There's strike 2 as he goes swinging. Previously, he was catching with 2 knees. Herrera then shifted to 1. He said he became a better catcher because of it, but just puts a little more pressure on that right knee, which he has in the dirt now. The 0-2 as the runner goes to third. It's beneath the knees, and that's a stolen base for Chris Cole. And the Florence Flamingos, they lead the entire Coastal Plain League in stolen bases. That's impressive because going into today's game, they had played 13 games. Not many other teams had played 13, and some had even played 15. Now the 1-2, this one driven right to Will Hoyt at third. 2 hops, fires to first to retire the side. So the Flamingos, they leave a runner at third. No hits, or 1 hit, no errors. Sharks lead 3-0 going into the 5th.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan today for the tools and tips you need to protect that legacy. That's ready.gov/plan. A message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doIHavePrediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Connor Powell up to the dish. First pitch to him. Fastball, strike one. So top of the fifth inning, Sharks lead 3-0 against the Florence Flamingos. Live from Carolina Bank Field, I'm Lance Williams here on the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network. Starter Brandon Little fires again. This one into the dirt. Ball one. Powell, top of the Sharks order. Over 2 today, flied out to right. Went down looking in the third. Now the 1-1 to him. This was cut on. Strike two. Powell, last played on Saturday at Greenville. He got on base twice, first with a walk, and then with a hit by pitch. Now the 1-2 to the left fielder. This one lifted on the left side, foul territory. So the count still 1-2 to Connor Powell. Connor Powell, he said he doesn't read many books. But the books he reads has the 1-2 pitch to him. Flies outside, ball two. So it's mostly just strictly about mentality. He's read both of David Goggins' books. It's the 2-2 pitch. Here's Little. This one driven off the ankle of Little. He's running over to first. Little's throw. They're in time. So Connor Powell, he can't carry the boats over to first, at least not in time. So he grounds out 1-3. Now to hit is Caleb Johnson, the second baseman. He's been just about everywhere today. Walked and scored in the first, also stole his 10th base of the season and a base knock in the third. He's looking to get on base for the third time as clouds begin to stream over the field here as the sun begins to set. First pitch to Johnson, down and away, ball one. Now the 1-0 to this switch hitter, drifts outside, ball three. Let that be ball two. Johnson. Where's this piece around his neck, which is alternating blue and white? It's the 2-0 to him. Flies outside, ball three. And so Tanner Leonard was wearing a similar one. And so manager Burroughs said, what's the deal with that? So now Johnson's 3-0. This is outside, ball four. Johnson has reached on all 3 times he's came up to the plate. And so the players said it's kind of just a trend that probably started in the major leagues. Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Atlanta Braves, he made it popular. He wears that a lot. As now Luke Jenkins up to hit. The big left-handed hitter and today's first baseman. And another mound meeting commences. Once again, it's the pitching coach, Noah Emig, I believe. We'll discuss things with his starter, Brandon Little. So there's one out in the top of the 5th inning. The Wilmington Sharks lead 3-0 against the Florence Flamingos. Once again, that's Caleb Johnson, And a speedy base runner at first, and Luke Jenkins at the dish, awaiting the first pitch he'll see. The Sharks, they have 4 hits today. Flamingos, they have 2. And so coming into this game, the Sharks, their offense was kind of struggling. In their 2 last games, both losses, 9 for 62 combined. That's hitting 145. The Sharks' Sunday loss, 4-1 at Peninsula. They were 5 for 31 as a team there. And then Saturday, the 9-5 loss at Greenville, 4 for 31 as a team. And so it'll be a new pitcher on the mound for the Florence Flamingos. The starter, Little, he'll leave Johnson at first, as he'll go 4 1/3. We'll take a pause here on the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network. Still the 5th inning after this.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at smokeybear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan today for the tools and tips you need to protect that legacy. That's ready.gov/plan. A message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
So back in the top of the 5th inning, 1 away, Sharks up 3-0 with a runner at first and Caleb Johnson, Luke Jenkins up to the dish, awaiting the new arm, Chase DeBrol, who's warming up. DeBrol, a lefty from Francis Marion University right here in Florence, South Carolina. And DeBrol in his, 3rd year of summer ball. This is with his 3rd team in the CPL in 2 years. It's the pitch to Jenkins, fired in the zone for strike 1. This season, 2 prior appearances, both were starts for DeBrol. In 9 innings, he's allowed 9 hits, 1 run, walked 2, struck out 3. This is his first time out of the bullpen against the Wilmington Sharks. As off goes Johnson. The throw, is it in time? Johnson slides in safely. Second stolen base of the night. Caleb Johnson displaying the wheels against a team that knows a whole lot about base running. And so DeBrol, last season he started with the Morehead City Marlins, where he pitched 2 games, 1 start, 9-0 or a 7.20 ERA, then 4 games with the Flamingos, rated 7.82 ERA, and 3 starts. So Luke Jenkins at the dish with an 0-2 count, and Johnson at second with 1 away in the top of the 5th. Sharks up 3-0. Jenkins is 0-2. This one softly bounced over to third, gloved by Hill. He'll tag first, but Johnson over at third now. So Trace Wilhoyd back to the dish in a familiar scenario as in the first inning, where he came up with 2 outs and Johnson at third. Here he is again. Same situation. Sharks up 3-0 this time. Here's the pitch to Wilhoyd. Breaking ball, outside ball 1. So Johnson walked, stole second, and advanced on the Jenkins ground out. Here's the pitch to Wilhoyd. Finds the plate, strike 2. Wilhoyd already today, he's 2 for 2. With, of course, that RBI in the first, plus a run scored. That came in the 4th. So had a good day today. DeBrol on the mound, out of the bullpen, the 1-1. Swung on, strike 2. That garners a point from his man Bard. And now I'll turn on the 5th inning face cam that I forgot about. The 1-2 to Will Hoyt. This one lined out to left field. Fair. Rolling into the corner. That'll score Johnson. Will Hoyt rounding first now. And it looks like the left fielder, Oakley, says it's stuck. So an extra base hit for Trace Will Hoyt. A hard hit line drive on the third baseline, bounced fair, rolled into that left field corner. And the Sharks now lead 4-0. And Trace Will Hoyt, have a day, 3 for 3. Now with 2 runs batted in. Or 2 Caleb Johnsons batted in. And that hit is Drew Sturgeon. Left on left matchup, this pitch. Wow, nice movement there. Finds the zone, strike 1. Will Hoyt, sizable leadoff second, be 10 or 12 feet. The 0-1 from the lefty. This one, way high, is the fastball. Ball 1. Chaz DeBrol is Will Hoyt at second. 1-1 pitch. Bouncer on the left side. Throw over to first. Can he beat it? He can. An infield base hit for Drew Sturgeon, who's had a very productive 2024 debut as he advances Will Hoyt over to third. That hit is Lucas Johnson, the designated hitter, with runners on both corners in the 5th inning. Sharks lead 4-0, and they've been pouring it on the Flamingos on this Tuesday evening. Lucas Johnson looking for signals from his manager at third, who's now discussing things with his fellow Lipscomb man, Will Hoyt. It's Will Hoyt at third, at first Sturgeon, 2 away, top of the 5th. Sharks up 4-0 with the DH Johnson. First pitch he sees, ripped out to center field. That'll drop for a base hit. Will Hoyt will score, holding up at second. That's Sturgeon. Sharks 3 straight hits now. And they're up 5-0 against Florence. Lucas Johnson now 1 for 3 with a run driven in. So the second multi-run inning for the Sharks. As here is Justin Herrera, who's 1 for 2 today. Went down swinging in the second. Base knock in the 4th. As we enter the bottom of the 5th on the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have...
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan today for the tools and tips you need to protect that legacy. That's ready.gov/plan, a message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Back here in Carolina Bank Field in Florence, South Carolina, I'm Lance Williams on the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network, back with the 5th inning face cam. It's the bottom of the 5th. Sharks lead 5-0 against the bright pink Florence Flamingos. Back on the mound is Spencer Cipro, the righty, starting this game. It's his 3rd time completing 4 innings. He's looking to get through 5 for the 2nd time. That first inning, or that first outing with 5, was against the Salamanders on the 31st, where he only allowed 2 runs, 1 was earned. He's not allowed to run today. He's looking for his first shutout outing of the 2024 CPL season. He'll be facing Owen Hull to start off this frame. First pitch there, outside ball 1. Cipro. He's only faced 13 batters as this one on the left side foul. This is the 13th batter that Cipro's faced. It's been efficient. Now the 1-1. High, Herrera lifts his glove to grab it. So 2-1 is the count. The Sharks scored 2 runs in each of the past 2 innings. It's the Flamingos at the dish now. Here's the 2-2. This one finds the zone, strike 2. Cipro 2 strikeouts today. Nods his head. Unleashes the 2-2 pitch. This one driven right to the shortstop, Hassert. Flings it over to first. Out number 1.
The second baseman from the Lehigh, Tyler Young.
Here's Tyler Young, one of 2 Lehigh University players in the Flamingos lineup. Lehigh, I believe they're the Eagles. They're some sort of bird of prey. Flamingos, not really a bird of prey, as this one driven out to center field on the ground for a base knock. It's the Flamingos' 3rd hit of the game. This time, Tyler Young now 1 for 2.
Carolina, number 2, Ty Barango.
Here's Ty Barango up to hit. 1 out, bottom of the 5th. A runner at first in Young. Wilmington, they're on top 5-0. Cipro looks over at that runner. Size, throw over to first. Sliding in safely is Young. Cipro back to first now. Once again, Young darting up that white and pink uniform. Clouds continue to coat this skyline as that pitch finds the bottom half of the outside corner. Strike 1. It's the shortstop Ty Barango, grounded out to third in his lone plate appearance in the 3rd. The 0-1 as off goes Young. The throw from Herrera, it looks high. The tag not placed. So a stolen base for Tyler Young. It's the 2nd stolen base for the Flamingos, who are averaging about 3.92 per game. I told Herrera they're the best base stealing team in the league. He said, we'll see about that. Russ Burrows said his goal is to keep them at 2. Well, they have 2 thus far as this ball softly bounced on the left side foul. Good job there. Gloving it is Lex Tutton, the 3rd base coach and the head coach of the Flamingos. Didn't actually glove it, barehanded it. So now a runner in scoring position in Young. 1 away, bottom of the 5th. Sharks up 3-0. 5-0. This is the 0-2 from Cipro. This one snipped on the first base line. Drops fair. Rounding third is Young. No, he slips. Now he goes home. Flamingos now get on board. Sharks up 5-1. Just a paper cut hit on the first base line, dropped in no man's land. And Young rounded third, slipped, got back up, got over. So first time the Flamingos can get back-to-back hits, scores a run. And that's why those stolen bases are so costly. You get a guy from first to scoring position, and then if he's fast, he can get over on a base hit as he's checked over at first. The runner at first, Barango, is checked over. It's 5-1 Sharks, bottom of the 5th. Up to the dish is Diego Ureta. This pitch rifled outside ball 1. Florence. Their mascot is Flo the Flamingo. No relation to FloSports. Cipro back to first, trying to catch him, but Barango steps on that pink base to be safe. The Wilmington Sharks, their players, they said they're kind of fans of the pink bases, just something different, something unique. As here's Cipro's 1-0, beneath the knees, ball 2. It was Lucas Johnson. He said he liked the pink bases. Mike Stelrack, he says he thinks they're a little different. The Flamingos bright pink against the Sharks baby blue. Cipro's 2-0, bounced foul. The ball gets between the legs of the bat boy in the Flamingos dugout. Cipro runs his black cleats to the pitcher's mound. 2 balls, 1 strike to the third baseman Ureta, who has the shortstop Barango at first. This pitch bounced right to the second baseman Johnson, fling over to second. Hassard's throw to first. They double him up to end the inning. Not before the Flamingos can score 1 run off 2 hits and no errors. It's 5-1 Sharks as we enter the 6th.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
Don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com, and remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating.
The University of South Carolina at Aiken, where he had 13 appearances, 10 in the third innings pitched. He allowed 12 runs off 9 hits. He's a bit of a walk merchant, 11 walks, but he did strike out 11, so little polarizing numbers there. He had an 0-2 record. This season with the Flamingos, he's had some good stuff. 4 appearances, all of which came out of the bullpen. 3 games that he finished. He's pitched 4 innings, allowed 1 hit, 1 run, 2 walks to 6 strikeouts, so he's trying to get those walk numbers down here in the CPL. Is up to hit Jack Rothenhausler. Pitch to Rothenhausler. Fired outside, ball 1. So Chris DeBrill, he only records the final 2 outs of the 5th. It's Merchants 1-0 on the outside part of the... Sorry, that was a refer over to first. So Rothenhausler didn't swing. Rothenhausler 0 for 1, went down swinging in the second, walked, and was picked off in the 4th. Merchant nods his head, fires the 2-0, which is ripped out to left field, dropping for a base hit. Gloved there by Oakley. A leadoff single for Jack Rothenhausler.
Shortstop from Villanova, number 2, Kim Hasser.
And with that, Rothenhausler, the 6th Shark, with a base hit, which is pretty big for the Sharks. They've struggled offensively, but the bats have been awake tonight here in South Carolina. Here's Cam Hassert to the dish. Hassert has Rothenhausler at first. Sharks lead 5-1 in the top of the 6th with no outs. Jalen Merchant. First pitch from him. Outside corner, strike 1. Merchant, a righty. Against the left-handed hitter Hassert. Included his 4th season at Villanova. Missed most of that junior year due to injury. The 0 to Hassert finds the zone strike 2. And so that junior season, which he missed most of, got an extra year of eligibility, and he's playing down under the bright lights of Los Angeles for Loyola Marymount University. Here's the 0-2 to Hassert, swung on, strike 3.
You're out.
Now Connor Powell back up to hit. With the runner in Rothenhauser at first. Jack Rothenhauser, more of a power bat than he is a speed threat. Rothenhauser checked back at first as he fumbles onto the base. So it was once a blue sky with clouds spotted on the horizon. It's covered in masses of darkness. This pitch, out and away from the glove of the catcher Bard. Rothenhauser jogs over to second, held up there by Burrows. I believe that's the second passed ball of the game for the Flamingos. They also had a wild pitch. And those miscommunications between the pitcher and the catcher, that allowed to 2 of those Sharks runs in the 4th. So Rothenhauser now at second. A 1-0 count to Powell with 1 away. Sharks up 5-1 in the start of the 6th. As the catcher, Luke Bard, calls time to speak with his pitcher. Merchant plays with the rosin for a little bit. Now he's back. Right foot on the rubber, left foot in front of it. Looks over at Rothenhauser at first. And I believe it's Powell this time calling time. Maybe the home plate umpire. I believe it's the home plate umpire exchanging some words with the manager, Lex Tutton, who's squatted in front of the stairs of the Florence dugout. Still just a 1-0 count to Powell. Rothenhauser with a 5-foot lead off second. This pitch, outside part of the plate, strike 1. One ball, 1 strike. Rothenhauser at second with 1 away. Top of the 6th. The pitch to Powell. Inside, drifting, well, way inside. Bard had to get on in front of it. Powell receives signals from the manager, Burrows at third. Rothenhauser takes a look at the 3 pink jerseys surrounding him. He's at second. The 2-1. Bouncer right to Merchant. Throw over to second, first, Rothenhauser. He's safe at third. So a 1-3 ground out. It's a 1-3 ground out for Powell. Not completely unproductive as it brings the Sharks' potential 6th run 90 feet from the dish. And here's Caleb Johnson, who's gotten on base all 3 times he's came up to hit. Walked and scored in the 1st. Base knock in the 3rd. Walked and scored in the 5th. He has 2 stolen bases as well. First pitch to him. This one, high fly ball out to right field. Drifting in is Korn. Makes the grab to retire the side. So no hits, 1 hit, no errors. A runner left at third. Sharks lead 5-1 as we enter the bottom of the 6th inning on the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan today for the tools and tips you need to protect that legacy. That's ready.gov/plan. A message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
So new pitcher on the mound for the Wilmington Sharks, that's Wes Earls from Wright State University. They're the Raiders down in Dayton. Wes Earls, a lefty, relieving the righty Cipro, who went 5 innings, allowed 1 run, walked 4, was here to hit, or allowed 4 hits, is here to hit is Oakley, who takes the first pitch for a called strike 1. Cipro also with 2 strikeouts, and he didn't walk any. Next pitch, down ball 1. Wes Earls, 24 years old. The lefty fires. This ball softly bounced. Jump man catch by Earls. Fire to first. There for the out. So it's bounced in the infield grass. And Wes Earls just, like I said, he hit the jump man to snag it. Toss to first for the first out. Oakley now 0 for 2. Scorecard turns over as Jake Whitlinger, the DH. He's also 0 for 2. Both groundouts to second as this ball bounced in front of the dish into the screen for active ball 1. Earls, 2024 debut for the Sharks. Last season, he played in 8 games, 5 of which were starts. A 1-1 record as that pitch darts in the dirt, ball 2. And so Earls, 1-1 record last season, 3.80 ERA, 8 games, 5 starts, 10 earned runs allowed in 23 and 2/3. As quickly 3 straight balls to Whitlinger. This would be the first walk issued by Sharks pitching. Earls fires on the outside corner for a called strike. And the third base coach, Lex Tootin, walks halfway down the third base line to scream at the umpire. The 3-1, this one bounced over to the glove of Will Hoyt and it gets past him. And it's the center fielder smothering it in Sturgeon, but Whitlinger holds up at first. Initial ruling on the field is an error. And Will Hoyt looks at his glove, squeezes it a little bit. And Whitlinger, not the guy you want on base. He has 10 swipes. Here to hit is Chris Cole. Lays down a bunt. Earls can't grab it. The runner advances to second, and that's a bunt for a single. Cole now 2 for 3. Flamingos threatening a little bit as Austin Skipper, the pitching coach, have some words for his lefty Earls, who's making his 2024 Sharks debut. Been a little rattled to start it. Man meeting still commencing. So Wes Earls, he retired the first batter he faced in this 6th inning with a 1-3 ground out. Next guy reached on an error, a ground ball just got past the glove of Trace Woolhoyd at the hot corner. Chris Cole laid down a soft bunt on the right side, couldn't glove it. Earls couldn't glove it. So that advanced Whitlinger over to second and Cole to first. And now Luke Bard, the catcher, who's 0 for 2. Luke Bard from Houston Christian by way of Castle Rock, Colorado. Earls head on a swivel. 1 out, 2 runners on. Fires this pitch above the chest, ball 1. Now Earls 1-0 pitch. That one darts beneath the knees. So 2 balls, no strikes to Luke Bard, who has Jake Whitlinger at second, Chris Cole at first. Sharks up 5-1, with the Flamingos threatening here in the bottom of the 6th. The pitch from Earls. That finds the zone, strike 1. Flamingos players banging on the fence of their dugout along the first base line. Whitlinger dancing at second, the 2-1 pitch high, ball 3. This pitch hammered out to left field. Powell running back on the warning track, it's gone. No, it's off the wall, hit the yellow tape. The runner will score from second. That's Whitlinger. Somehow only a single, as that pitch was murdered out to left field, but it hits the yellow wrapping on the top of the fence. So about just a foot shy of a home run. So it's now 5-2 Sharks with a loud base knock for Luke Bard. Good job there by Powell from grabbing that one as the runner takes off and it bounces in the dirt. Both runners will go. That pitch was buried into the dirt. I think it was a double steal attempt. Chris Cole got a large jump and Bard followed suit. So 1-0 count to the cleanup man Korn. 1 for 2. Swing and miss, strike 1. So he has Cole at second, Cole at third, Bard at second. For the second straight inning, the Flamingos have scored. Still Sharks 5-2. This pitch, snubbed on the right side, foul. Into the stands. The man in the black shirt fumbles it. He drops it. Unacceptable by the Flamingos fan. All jokes. Very hard to barehand a foul ball. Got a good opportunity though. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Korn. This pitch gets past Herrera, rolling back. The runner from third is coming in safely. Sharks lead cut to 5-3. It was Cole scoring from third, Bard now over to third. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes to the right fielder. Just 1 out, Sharks up 5-3. Sky masked in clouds of darkness. The 2-2. This one smacked out to left center field. And it's Jenkins. Grabs it after 1 hop on the dirt, and now the lead cut down to 1. So an RBI base knock for Brandon Korn. Who's now 2 for 3 with a run driven in from the cleanup spot. Looks like that'll be it for Wes Earl. Wes Earls only records 1 out in this 6th inning, gives up 3 runs off 3 hits, 1 error. Sharks up 5-4 as the new bullpen arm comes out. We'll take a pause on the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com, and remember,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
So a tough outing for Wes Earls, the lefty, in his 2024 debut. Just a third of an inning pitched. He allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, 1 was unearned. Didn't walk any or strike out any. He leaves the runner at first in Braden Korn. The Sharks, they go with another lefty this time. It's Ethan Atkinson from Jacksonville State University. He has a 1-0 record, no ERA, 6 innings pitched in 5 games. He's allowed 2 hits, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. He's had some quality outings for the big W. He'll be facing Owen Hull, the first baseman. Off goes the runner to second. Herrera's throw is in time. Gets out of the glove of Hassert. So I believe he was trying to apply the tag. So that's another stolen base for the Florence Flamingos. They're now up to 4, which is about their average per game on the season. So it's a 0-1 count still to Hull, who has Korn at second. Atkinson, the lefty, looking over at him as he shuffles over. There's a strike 2. Swing and a miss by the first baseman. So Atkinson comes in. The first batter he faces is a lefty, which explains why the Sharks went to a lefty. 1 away in the bottom of the 6th. The 0-2. Buried in the dirt. Ball 1. The Wilmington Sharks, they lead 5-4 in the bottom of this 6th inning with 1 out and a runner at second in Hull. The big pink Flamingos, they've already scored 3 in this frame. Atkinson looking to keep the Sharks on top. Now the 1-2. Just inside for ball 2. Even count, 1 away. The Sharks led 5-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Their lead has been cut down to 1. The 2-2 from Atkinson, bounced in the dirt, and then in the glove of Herrera. So a full count now to the first baseman, Hull. Flamingo fans chanting Hull. The 3-2. Swung on, strike 3. Ethan Atkinson pulled the string. Now 2 away in the 6th. Now the dish is Tyler Young. Grounded out to left field in the second. You heard that right. A base knock in the fifth. He then scored. He's now up 1 for 2 with a run on the day. They're 2 away in the sixth. The runner at second in corn, Ethan Atkinson, trying to put an end to this Flamingos rally. First pitch from the lefty, drifts outside. Herrera, good stop there. Atkinson leans in. The lefty from Chipley, Florida. Off goes the runner to the third. Herrera, his throw to Will Hoyt. Is the tag there in time? No, Will Hoyt in disbelief. He thought he got him. It's now the 5th stolen base of the game for the Flamingos. It's the 3rd they've had this inning. So 2 balls, no strikes to Tyler Young, who has a runner in 3rd in corn, who's displayed the speed as he has 2 stolen bases this inning. The 2-0 now. Beneath the knees, ball 3. Sharks pitching have struggled in this 6th inning. The 3-0 from Atkinson. There's a strike on the outside corner. The 3-1 to Young. Swing, strike 2. Good job here by Ethan Atkinson to work this count full, as it was once 3 balls, no strikes. 3-2 count, 2 outs, a runner at 3rd, and corn. Sharks up 5-4. They're looking to maintain their lead. Atkinson, swing and a miss, strike 3. That's the end of the 6th inning, not before the Flamingos can score 3 runs off 3 hits, 1 error. They leave a runner at 3rd as we enter the 7th. It's Sharks 5-4 on the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Here to start the 7th inning, it's 5-4 Sharks. Flamingos just added 3 in the 6th. Back on the mound, it's Merchant. He pitched the shutout 6th inning. We'll be facing Luke Jenkins, Trace Will Hoyt, and Drew Sturgeon. First pitch here to Jenkins, drifts inside, ball 1. Jenkins 0 for 3 tonight, looking to get on base. Merchant's 1-0. This one snubbed, left side, foul. So it's 1 ball, 1 strike to the first baseman, Jenkins. He's leading off the 7th inning. The Sharks up 5-4. Both of these teams started their season with 3-game winning streaks as the 1-1 inside ball 2. Both teams started 3-0. Followed that up 5-5 in both of their last 10. Obviously that is going to have to change for one of these two teams. Right now it's Sharks on top 5-4. No outs in the 7th. The 2-1. Jenkins slaps this one high out to left center field. Underneath it is Oakley making the grab for the first out. The Florence Flamingos, they last played on Saturday, a doubleheader against the reigning champion Lexington County Blowfish. They won the first game 7-4, lost the second 5-1. First pitch here to Johnson, slider, strike 1. So I mentioned the Sharks. Before this game, their bats were pretty quiet. 9 for 62 combined in the last 2. And that doubleheader for Flamingos, they were 7 for 45, which is hitting 155-ish. Foul ball there. Correction, that's Will Hoyt at the dish. And Will Hoyt, man, have a day. 3 for 3, 2 runs batted in, 1 hit being a double. Did commit that error in the 6th inning, which led to 1 run. It's quickly down the count 0-2. This pitch to Will Hoyt. A high pop-up on the first base line. Tons of Flamingos tracking it. It's Hull in foul territory for the second out.
Out of here.
With that, here's Drew Sturgeon from Central Arkansas, where he just concluded his last year of college eligibility. Got over the 300 mark in that senior campaign. Today, he's 1 for 2. A ground out to second in the first, walked and scored in the 4th, base knock in the 5th. It's Jalen Merchant, the righty, to face the left-handed hitting center fielder. Here's the pitch from Merchant. In there, strike 1. And so Drew Sturgeon, he says he prides himself in his ability to stay level in the zone, recognize where that strike zone is, and only swing at strikes. Let that one get in there, though. The 0-1. That's way low, ball 1. Sturgeon will straighten his Navy cap. He stands up tall now, waiting the 1-1 pitch. There's 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Fins up 5-4. This pitch barely finds the zone for strike 2. Merchant stands up tall. Releases the 1-2 beneath the knees for ball 2. See what Merchant goes to here. Looking for the strikeout. Into the fastball and the 1-2. Here's the pitch to Sturgeon, flung outside, ball 3. So a great job here by Drew Sturgeon, doing what he does best, watching pitches, go inside, go outside. He's looking for a walk here. Be the first base runner. First 2 Sharks were retired in the 7th. The 3-2, fouled on the left side. Sturgeon staying alive. Trying to get on base for the 3rd straight time this evening. The 3-2. Brings him up, strike 3. 3 up, 3 down as we enter the 7th inning stretch. Sharks up 5-4 on the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doIHavePrediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan today for the tools and tips you need to protect that legacy. That's ready.gov/plan, a message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Coming out of the stretch, Sharks lead 5-4 against the Florence Flamingos. New pitcher on the mound, that's Nick Noga. Noga, the righty from Westchester University. 2 previous appearances for the Sharks, 2 shutout innings. Let that be 2 innings without an earned run. He's allowed 1 unearned off 1 hit. Hasn't walked any, struck out 2. First pitcher he faces, Ty Barango. First pitch to him, finds the zone, strike 1. So a couple of pitching lines are concluded. Wes Earls, 1 out, recorded in the 6th. 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, no walks, no strikeouts. Ethan Atkinson has this pitch smacked out to center field. Tracing it is Sturgeon, drifting right, makes the grab for the first out. And then Ethan Atkinson, he finished off that 6th inning. Struck out the first, or the 2 batters he faced. And the only batters he faced. Here's Diego Ureta, the 3rd baseman, up to get some chops in. Sharks up 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th. This pitch into the netting, foul. The sky pitch black now on this Tuesday evening. The 0-1. Finds the inside corner, strike 2. Nick Noga. Completely silent on the 2.5-hour bus ride. Bounces the next pitch into the dirt for ball 1. Completely silent on the bus ride. He's looking to get a silent 7th inning. Try the first batter he saw. The 1-2. Barely got a piece of it. Slid into the screen above the Sharks dugout on the 3rd baseline. So it's still a 1-2 count to Ureta. Grounded out to 3rd in the 3rd. Grounded to short in the 5th. Noga's 1-2 pitch. This one breaks down low. Ball 2. Noga this season at Westchester, 3.76 ERA, 6-1 record, and 15 appearances as this pitch bounced foul. 15 appearances all out of the bullpen. This drastic improvement from his freshman campaign where he had a 15.26 ERA in 6 appearances. Now the 2-2, this one hit on the left side, dropping fair, rolling out to the corner. He'll round first. Powell Gloves it, fires over to the shortstop Hasser. So a double for Diego Ureta. Ureta becomes the 6th batter for the Flamingos to get a hit. Second double of the night for Florence. Now Caleb Oakley up to swing. With 1 out in the bottom of the 7th, Wilmington there on top 5-4. But the Flamingos with the tying run in scoring position and Ureta at second. Noga looks over at that runner, nods his head, fires. This one fair on the left side, rolling down the corner. The runner will round third. Ureta will score. It's a tied game as there's back-to-back doubles for the Flamingos. So Nick Noga, after retiring the first batter he faced, back-to-back doubles. And this game is knotted at 5. Now the top of the order, and Jake Whitlinger up to the dish. Noga with the runner at second. This pitch finds the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Whitlinger 0 for 3 today. Reached on an error and scored in the 6th. The 0-1 pitch. This one snubbed out to center field for a base knock. Coming over to third is Oakley. The 3rd straight hit.
Low tap, we need you here. Let's go, Bingos. Let's go, Bingos. Let's go, Bingos. Let's go, Bingos. Center fielder from Kennesaw State, number 8, Chris Cole. Once again, everybody do it with me.
So the Sharks now at risk of trailing for the first time this game in the bottom of the 7th. It's Caleb Oakley at third. The runner at first is Whitlinger. And it looks like that'll be it for Nick Noga, who only records 1 out in the 7th inning. Noga, he leaves runners at both corners. It's just 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. This game's tied at 5. We'll take a pause on the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan today for the tools and tips you need to protect that legacy. That's ready.gov/plan. A message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Coming back in the bottom of the 7th, an eerily similar inning to the 6th. The starter, Nick Noga, retires the first batter he faces. Then 3 straight hits, 2 of them doubles. He leaves runners on both corners. That's Oakley at third, Whitlinger at first. This game tied at 5. As a new pitcher on the mound, that's Kyle Laser.
Fans, keep that energy rolling for pitcher from Houston, Christian, number 16,
Kyle Laser, the righty from Westchester. The new man at the mound is Chris Cole. Cole 2 for 3 today, including a double and a bunt single. So off goes Whitlinger to second. The throw not in time. So Jake Whitlinger now with 11 swipes on the year. It's his first one tonight. And the Florence Flamingos, they continue to run the bases. So they're 7th on the night, as it's still a 1-0 count to Cole, with 2 runners in scoring position now. The 1-0 from Laser, fired in, strike 1. Kyle Laser trying to put an end to this inning, but his Golden Ram teammate started the 1-1 into the screen, foul, strike 2. It's Oakley at third, Whitlinger at second, just 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. Tied game at 5, the 1-2 swung on, strike 3.
Great job, Lasers. Go, get your line. Up next, the catcher from Houston, Christian, number 16.
Tied at 5 in the bottom of the 7th, 2 away, with the new man Luke Bard up to hit. He has Whitlinger at third, Whitlinger at second, Oakley at third. This pitch in the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Now the 0-1 heave. Way outside, Herrera, good job shifting in front of it. Sharks led 5-0. Now it's 5-5, the 1-1. Hit him. So now the bases are loaded for the cleanup man, Braden Korn.
And fans, somebody grab the OJ because the bases are choose. And next up to the plate from Western Carolina, number 21,
Braden
Braden Korn.
Korn, 5 RBIs on the year, one of which came today. He's 2 for 3. The bases are loaded with 2 outs. Kyle Laser on the mound. This release down, buried in the dirt by Herrera. Excellent job squatting to stop it. It's Oakley at third, Whitlinger at second, Bard at first. It's a 1-0 count to the cleanup man, the right fielder, Braden Korn. Lasers 1-0, beneath the knees, ball 2. Laser nods his head. Tied at 5 in the bottom of the 7th. 2 away, bases loaded. The 2-0 from Laser, outside ball 3. One more pitch outside the zone would give the Flamingos their first lead of the night. Laser's 3-0 pitch finds the plate, strike 1. It's another one of those situations where the batter's not going to swing at much. The pitcher has to throw a strike. Now the 3-1 down, ball 4. Flamingos, they're on top 6-5 with the bases loaded walk. That's the first walk of the game issued by Sharks pitching. So Oakley will score from third. Whitlinger goes over to third. Bard to second. Korn now at first. Now Owen Hull, who's 0 for 3 today. The one Flamingo without a trip on base. The first pitch he sees into the screen, foul. Florence leads 6-5 in the bottom of the 7th. Now 6 runs unanswered. Kyle Laser. The 0-1 pitch. Ground ball over to third. Gloved by Will Hoyt. The throw to first. Not in time. Bases. The pass. Ball gets past first, and that'll score 2. So it's now 8-5 Flamingos. It was an infield single, and the throw to Jenkins got past them, which allowed the runner from second to score.
And next up to the plate, the second baseman from Lehigh, number 5, Tyler Young.
Here's Tyler Young with runners at both corners. Flips the first pitch foul. Corn at third, Hull at first. Still 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Flamingos have scored 4 in this frame to take an 8-5 lead. Kyle Laser, the 0-1. Strike 2. Laser's pitch, and it's swung on. I believe it was foul tipped to put an end to this inning. Not before the Flamingos can score 4 runs off 3 hits. No errors. They lead 8-5 as we enter the 8th in the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan today for the tools and tips you need to protect that legacy. That's ready.gov/plan. A message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Here in the 8th, the Flamingos now on top 8-5 as fireworks out in beyond right field. So the Sharks, they led 5-0 at one point. And the Flamingos scored 1 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, then 4 in the 7th to produce their 3-run lead. It's the Sharks back to retaliate now, starting with Lucas Johnson, the DH, who's 1 for 3 with a run driven in today. Following him is Justin Herrera and Jack Rothenhausler. Still on the mound, Jalen Merchant. Came into the game in the 5th. He's been here ever since. First pitch from him. Outside, ball 1. Jalen Merchant. Casts the 1-0 out. Skimmed into the dirt, foul. Merchant allowed one of the Sharks 3 runs in the 5th. Actually allowed 3 hits there. Was allowed just 1 hit in the previous 2 innings. Action in the Flamingos bullpen. Merchant releases the 1-1. Breaking ball finds the zone, strike 2. Lucas Johnson, a couple practice swings. This is in the right-handed box. Second-year Shark. Trying to retaliate after the Flamingo rally. The 1-2, bouncer. Ball 2. Merchants 2-2, cut on, strike 3. Third strikeout for Jalen Merchant. That is Justin Herrera, the catcher. 1 for 3 today, a base knock in the 4th. Pitch to Herrera, down low, ball 1. So the Wilmington Sharks, they trail the Florence Flamingos 8-5 in the top of the 8th. Both of these teams are 8-5 on this season. Both teams in contention for the first half crown. It's the 1-0, breaking ball, outside ball 2. So the Wilmington Sharks, coming into this game, they're 1.5 games behind the first place Peninsula Pilots, who are 10-4. 1 game behind the Wilson Tobbs, who are 9-4. This pitch to Herrera, hammered out to center field. Backing down is Cole, making the grab for the second out. So to contrast that, the Flamingos, they're 3.5 games behind the 12-2 Forest City Owls. That's the best record in the entire league. And 1.5 games behind the 10-4 Martinsville Mustangs. So both teams in third place of their division. As here's Jack Rothenhausler with 2 away in the 8th. First pitch he sees, ball 1. The 2 away to Rothenhausler, who went down swinging in the 2nd, walked in the 4th. Base knock in the 6th. He's 1 for 2. 2 away, top of the 8th. Sharks down 8-5. Slider finds the plate for strike 1. Merchant. Now the 1-1. Beneath the knees and back to the backdrop. 2 balls, 1 strike now. So it's Tuesday night baseball here at Carolina Bank Field. This ballpark, pretty new. Construction started in 2021. It's the 2-1 down low, ball 3. And it was open for the 2022 season. That was when the Florence Flamingos made the rebrand. They were originally the Raleigh Red Wolves for 1 year, and they were the Florence Flamingos, the Florence Red Wolves from 1998 onward. The 3-1 bouncer over to the shortstop, gloves it, charges on the infield grass, throw over to first. 3 up, 3 down. Sharks, they trail 8-5 as we enter the bottom of the 8th in the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network.
Smokey the Bear. Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do. Don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com, and remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Florence leads 8-5 in the bottom of the 8th against the Wilmington Sharks. A new pitcher for the Finns. That's number 36. And Aaron Boster. Boster, the lefty from. And this season with the Sharks, his one prior appearance was a shutout inning where he walked one, struck out one. Boster. He'll be facing the bottom third of the Florence order, starting with Ty Barango, first pitch, ball 1. So the Sharks, they led 5-0 going into the bottom of the 5th. Then the Flamingos added 1, scored 3 in the 6th, and 4 in the 7th. It's a 1-1 count with Boster dealing. Two-one count now. So Kyle Laser recorded the final 2 outs of the 7th inning. He allowed 1 run, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. As Barango takes a swing there. Laser also hit a batter. Two balls, 2 strikes to number 2, the shortstop Barango. This pitch swung on, chasing the upstairs heater. First out. Here's Diego Ureta. Grinded to third in the 3rd, grinded short in the 5th. Double, and a run scored in the 7th. First pitch to him, beneath the knees, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Late swing, strike 1. So the Florence Flamingos, in their inaugural year in 1997 as the Raleigh Red Wolves, they actually won the Pettit Cup. This pitch snubbed into the netting, foul. And so when they relocated to Florence in 1998, they became the Florence Red Wolves. They've played in 4 different ballparks. Once again, when they moved into this one in 2022, they dropped Red Wolves, became the Flamingos. The 1-2. Ball 2. And the Red Wolves, it's actually a kind of a disappointment. Not that they changed their name, really. It's Red Wolves, very endangered species of wolves in North America. There's the 2-2 pitch. This one flipped foul. And Red Wolves, populations continued to decline. And the fact is, a lot of people probably just mistake them for coyotes, which are very overpopulated. And you can hunt coyotes just about anywhere with no restrictions. People might see a red wolf, think it's coyote. The 2-2 fouled off. And so the Red Wolves name was actually a name that the Washington football team was considering when they were looking for their new name. Instead, they went with the Commanders. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ureta. For 1 away, no one on in the bottom of the 8th. Birds up 8-5. That pitch into the screen foul. The Flamingos, they have 11 hits tonight against the Sharks 8. Here's the 2-2. Finds the plate, strike 3. And all Ureta can do is drop to his knees and return to the dugout. Here's Caleb Oakley with the $1 Million Baby walk-up song. He's 1 for 3, popped out to first in the 3rd, grounded to the pitcher in the 6th. Did one of those back-to-back doubles that came in the 7th, which drove in a run. He later scored. Now this pitch, looked like a changeup, strike 1. The pitcher is Aaron Boster. Now the 0-1. Like a fastball that time. Couldn't find the zone strike one, or ball 1. So they say the changeup is really one of the hardest pitches to hit, just because they look like a fastball. And obviously the speed is a lot less, and then it kind of just drops off at the end and really be deceptive as the 1-1. Strike 2, swung on. So Aaron Boster up in the count 1-2 with 2 away in the bottom of the 8th. Trying to hold the Flamingos scoreless for the first time since the 4th. He'll step off the rubber. Big lefty shaking off a signal from the catcher Herrera. Now the 1-2. Attempted frame job by the backdrop from Belmont Abbey, but 2-2 count now with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch. Soft bouncer over to Will Hoyt at 3rd. Charges, throws to 1st. Got him. So Boster can't strike out the side, but a 1-2-3 inning will do as we enter the 9th inning. Sharks trail 8-5 against Florence on the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old. But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan today for the tools and tips you need to protect that legacy. That's ready.gov/plan. A message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doIHavePrediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Top of the 9th inning. Sharks down to their last 3 outs. Attempting a late game rally, it'll be Cam Hassert, Connor Powell, and Caleb Johnson. Jalen Merchant still on the mound. He came in the 6th. It's his 4th inning of relief. He would be in line for the win, unless the Sharks can bite back. First pitch here, Upstairs, ball 1 to Hassert, the shortstop. Hassert 0 for 3 today. Now the pitch to Hassert, just a heat-seeking missile, finding the zone for strike 1. Merchants 1-0. Barely skimmed foul. Count 1 and 2. Cam Hassert digs himself back into the left-handed box. Merchant. This pitch driven off the ankle of him, and it will go in foul territory. That's a base hit for Cam Hassert, I believe. Just a hard line drive on the ground off of Merchant's ankle. Then it ricocheted into foul territory. I believe he's safe. That is a base knock for Cam Hassert. So Hassert now 1 for 4 today. First time he's gotten on base. So good way to start the 9th inning for Wilmington. As here's Connor Powell, another returning Shark. He is 1 for 4. He is 0 for 4 today. There is movement in the Flamingos bullpen. Merchants release, softly bounced over to short. Hassert will be safe at second. The throw to first, not in time. Connor Powell hustles one out. The Sharks with their first 2 batters, they're on. So Powell, 1 for 5 today. Hassert safe at second. And the tying run, Caleb Johnson up to the dish. And he's had a great day. Walked and scored in the first. Base knock in the third. Walked and scored in the fifth. Flied out to right in the sixth. That was a hard-hit ball. Merchant, the righty, facing his 3rd straight left-handed hitter with Johnson of the switch hitting variant. Still no outs, top of the 9th. 8-5 Florence. This ball in there. Strike 1. So Hassert, electrifying speed at second. Connor Powell, some wheels as well at first. Caleb Johnson trying to bring the Sharks closer in their rally. Their trail 8-5. This pitch. Breaking ball outside, ball 1. Good eye there by the second baseman Johnson. He has his top button unbuttoned. Grilling a sliver of chest. 85 degrees at the start of this game, but the sun is completely set here in Florence, South Carolina. Both of these teams now with double-digit hits. Florence 11, Sharks 10. Hassert at second, Powell at first. Sharks trail 8-5. The 1-1 pitch. Check swing by Johnson. 1 around, strike 2. Russ Burrows, the manager, exchanging some words with his dugout. He's got some fresh Jordans on his feet. Runners at first and second. No outs. Top of the 9th. The 1-2 to Johnson. This one. High fly ball out to shallow left. Underneath it is Oakley. Makes the grab for the first out. Runners will stay. So 1 away in the top of the 9th. Hassert at second, Powell at first. Now Luke Jenkins up to hit. Is the tying run. Merchant releases this one, which is grounded into the dirt, foul. Sharks looking for some late game magic. Florence not near the coast. Sharks seeing if they can swim inland. Hassard at second, Powell at first. The 0-1. Breaking ball finds the zone, strike two. With one out in the top of the ninth, Sharks have Hassard at second, Powell at first. The 0-2 to Jenkins on the left side foul. Good job there by the first baseman staying alive with a hard hit fly ball over my head. Jenkins has showed up in clutch moments at home, such as the Morehead City walk-off last week. Let's see if he can do it on the road. The 0-2 pitch, inside ball one. Good eye by Jenkins. Luke Jenkins trying to bring in some runs. He's been held in check at 0 for 4 today. The 1-2 by Merchant. Another foul ball. Luke Jenkins this season with 3 runs batted in. He's at the plate with the 1-2 count. Hassard at second, Powell at first. One away in the top of the ninth. Sharks down 8-5. This pitch, another foul ball. Luke Jenkins resilient at the dish. Luke Jenkins strokes his bat. Stares at Wonder Boy, looking for some magic. Hassard, 12-foot leadoff second. Powell. It's the 1-2. This one, soft ground ball over to the pitcher Merchant. Both runners will advance. The throw to first. Got away from him. Base is now loaded. So it was a soft chopper over to the pitcher Merchant. Tried to throw to first, but I think Jenkins, since he was running the base paths, the throwing lane might have not been there. So with that, the head coach for the Florence Flamingos, Lex Tootin, he's out exchanging some words. I don't know what he thought. So it's potentially an error. Maybe it was dropped by the first baseman. I'm not sure. Maybe he couldn't get a grip on it. Scoreboard has it as an error by, I think, the first baseman. And this is huge. The Sharks now with the tying run at first. And it looks like that'll be it for Jalen Merchant, maybe. I thought he pointed to the bullpen. Hassard with a big grin at third. Powell at second. It'll be a pinch runner and Tanner Leonard coming in for Jenkins. So I don't know what the official ruling is about what happened with Luke Jenkins. And this is just the third bullpen arm used today by the Florence Flamingos. So Merchant comes in for the sixth, gets through 3 1/3. We'll take a pause for the pitching change.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan today for the tools and tips you need to protect that legacy. That's ready.gov/plan. A message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
So it's the top of the 9th inning. Flamingos now with the new pitcher. It's a righty. It's number 43. That's Brandon Langley from West Carolina, the righty. Langley, 4 appearances, all out of the bullpen, all games finished, 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. He has the bases loaded with Hassert. He's at third. Powell at second. Tanner Leonard at first. Here's Trace Wilhoit, the go-ahead run. First pitch to Wilhoit. Swung on, strike 1. Trace Wilhoit, the all-time home run leader for Lipscomb University. A long ball here would give the Sharks the lead, something that they haven't had since they gave up 4 runs in the 7th. Hassard at third, Powell at second, Leonard at first, all with speed. The pitch to Wilhoit, ball 1. The Sharks have not scored since the 5th inning. They're threatening here, the 1-1, swung on, strike 1. Wilhoit down in the count 1-2 with 1 away in the top of the 9th. The new pitcher is Langley. The 1-1, swung on, strike 3. So Wilhoit, 3 for 5 on the day with double RBI and 2 runs, 2 RBIs actually. He goes down. Now Drew Sturgeon, the man making his 2024 debut. He comes up, he's 1 for 3 with a base knock, a run scored, and a walk. There's 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Sharks down to their last out. They have the tying run at first. And the bases loaded. It's Hassard at third, Powell at second, pinch runner Leonard at first. Drew Sturgeon looking to come up clutch. This pitch, high, ball 1. Big time moment here for Sturgeon. Langley on the mound. The 1-0, swung on, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Drew Sturgeon. Sharks down 8-5 in the top of the 9th inning with 2 outs. They have Hassard at third, Powell at second, Leonard at first. Leonard is the tying run, Sturgeon the go-ahead run. Sharks looking for a 9th inning rally. The 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball finds the zone, strike 2. The Sharks at risk of dropping their 3rd straight game. It's a 1-2 count to Sturgeon with 2 outs and the bases loaded. 8-5 Florence. Top of the 9th. Langley on the mound. Fires the 1-2, swing and miss. There it is. The Sharks can't score any in the 9th despite loading the bases off 2 hits and 1 error. It's Florence leaving with an 8-5 win over the Wilmington Sharks, who dropped to 8-6 on the year. Flamingos now 9-5. Post-game show coming up next on the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Back here on the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network, I'm Lance Williams here with the Sharks postgame show. They drop 8-5 against the Florence Flamingos. Sharks now 8-6 on the year. Flamingos 9-5. So a tough loss for the Wilmington Sharks. Their third straight loss. All have come on the road. And so it's tough for the Sharks. We're trying to battle for that first half crown. They go back down with another L. So very tough loss for the Wilmington Sharks on this Tuesday evening. The Sharks, once they had a 5-run lead, it started in the first inning. Trace Wilhoit brought in Johnson from third. Then, fourth inning, Sharks added 2 from 2 hits and a pair of walks, plus a pass ball and a wild pitch. Then, fifth inning, 2 more runs. That came off 3 hits. But after that fifth inning, the Sharks were really held in check. Jalen Merchant out of the bullpen pitched shutout 6th, 7th, and 8th innings with just 1 hit allowed. He started the 9th inning with a third of an inning where he allowed 2 hits. The Sharks, they loaded the bases in the 9th. They could not bring any home. Flamingos, their runs came in the first inning, or the 5th inning, with 1 run off 2 hits. The 6th inning, they brought 7 to bat. 2 hits, an error, or 3 hits, an error. And then the 7th inning, they added 4 to take the lead. They were blanked in the 8th. So the winning pitcher will be Jalen Merchant. The losing pitcher for the Sharks, that's Nick Noga. So just, once again, a tough loss for the Wilmington Sharks. They were ahead of this for the first half of this game, then some struggles from the bullpen. So they lose 8-5. Both of these teams came into this game 8-5, but didn't work out for the Sharks. So Trace Wilhoit started the game off 3 for 3. Finished 3 for 5 with 2 runs scored, a double, and 2 runs batted in. All but Luke Jenkins recorded a hit for the Sharks. Today they had 10 hits. Jenkins, though, he did reach on an error in the 9th, so just a tough loss for the Sharks all around, in reality. Out of the bullpen, Aaron Boster, a shutout 9th inning, 1-2-3 fashion. He looked sharp. The starter, Spencer Cipro, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, no walks, 2 strikeouts. That was one of the bright spots for the Sharks today. They only walked 1 while striking out 8. The Florence Flamingos, they had 11 stolen bases, but one of the most blaring stats, they had 7 swipes. Flamingos came into this game with 51 stolen bases, just shy of 4 per game. They increased that average here tonight. So, some of the other games in the Coastal Plain League, games that have concluded: the Wilson Tobbs beat the Holly Springs Salamanders 6-1. Lawrenceville Mustangs beat the Asheboro Zookeepers 8-2. Tri-City Chili Peppers down 7-4 at Peninsula. And the 4-City Owls up 6-3 in Macon in the bottom of the 8th. So it looks like the Pilots are going to win, and the Tobbs have already won. Both of those teams ahead of the Sharks in the East standings, so no help there by Tri-City or the Salamanders. So once again, the Florence Flamingos win 8-5 against the Wilmington Sharks. Sharks now 0-2 against, or 1-1 against West Division opponents. On the season, they're 8-6. Flamingos, they're now 9-5. So, I'm Lance Williams. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I was trying to help out the Flamingos broadcasters on FloSports, but it didn't work out. So, sorry for missing some of the game. And yeah, I'm Lance Williams signing off on the Wilmington Sharks Baseball Network from Florence. Sharks lose 8-5.